The Earth you know, blue oceans, green forests, breathable air, is just one version of this planet. There have been others, and some of them were so extreme and so alien that they sound completely made up. Except every single one of them is real, and all of them happened right here on this planet. We are going to walk through 5 of them, from oldest to most recent, and each one gets stranger than the last. Let's start with number 1, and possibly the hardest one to picture. About 635 million years ago, Earth's oceans looked nothing like they do today. Instead of clear blue water, huge areas of the ocean were purple and toxic. This was the Ediacaran period, and the ocean was filled with hydrogen sulfide, the same gas that makes rotten eggs smell bad. Vast stretches of the ocean had no oxygen at all, making them completely dead zones for anything that needed to breathe. But near the surface, massive blooms of purple sulfur bacteria colored the water a deep reddish purple. Scientists have found the chemical signatures of these bacteria locked inside ancient rock, so this is not a guess. The creatures alive during this time were strange and soft-bodied, flat, frond-like, disc-shaped things with no head, no tail, and no shell. Many of them may represent body plans that are completely gone from Earth today, with no living relatives at all. One of them, a creature called Dickinsonia, was recently confirmed to be a real animal through chemical analysis of its fossils. But it was an animal living in a purple, sulfur-poisoned sea that would kill almost everything alive today within minutes. The second version sounds even more backwards. About 2.4 billion years ago, the atmosphere had almost no oxygen, and every living thing on Earth was perfectly fine with that. Back then, all life was anaerobic. It survived without oxygen, and oxygen was actually toxic to it. Then a type of bacteria called cyanobacteria learned to use sunlight and water to make energy, and released oxygen as a waste product. For hundreds of millions of years, that oxygen was absorbed by dissolved iron in the oceans and never built up in the air. But eventually the iron ran out. Oxygen started flooding into the atmosphere, and it was catastrophic. Scientists call this the oxygen catastrophe, and it killed off the vast majority of life on Earth at the time. For the organisms that had dominated the planet for over 1 billion years, oxygen was a deadly poison that destroyed their cells from the inside. The survivors had to retreat to deep mud, underwater volcanic vents, and animal guts, places where oxygen still could not reach them. Today, their descendants are still hiding in those same places, 4 billion years later. The oxygen catastrophe also destroyed the methane in the atmosphere that had been keeping Earth warm. With the methane gone, the planet's temperature crashed, and that likely triggered the very next version on this list. This third version is the most extreme climate event in Earth's history. Welcome to Snowball Earth. Between 720 and 635 million years ago, the entire surface of the planet may have been covered in ice. Not a thin layer, kilometers-thick ice sheets stretching all the way to the equator. Mean global temperatures reached an estimated -40 to -50 degrees Celsius, colder than Antarctica is today. Even at the equator, temperatures sat at around -20 degrees Celsius. The oceans were frozen solid at the surface, and sunlight could not reach the water below. Life survived in tiny refuges, near deep-sea volcanic vents, in thin films of liquid beneath the ice, close to volcanic islands. The only escape was volcanic CO2, slowly building up in the atmosphere for millions of years, until the greenhouse warming was finally strong enough to melt the ice. When the melt came, it came fast. Temperatures may have swung from -40 to +50 degrees Celsius in just thousands of years. One of the main snowball glaciations may have lasted 50 to 58 million years, the longest ice age in Earth's entire history. Many scientists believe the extreme stress of Snowball Earth is what pushed simple single-celled life toward becoming complex multicellular organisms. The fourth version would probably terrify you the most if you actually visited it. Around 300 million years ago, during the Carboniferous period, atmospheric oxygen levels reached 30 to 35%, compared to just 21% today. All that extra oxygen meant insects and other arthropods could grow much larger than anything alive today. Insects breathe through tiny tubes called tracheae, and higher oxygen lets those tubes support bigger and bigger bodies. So the Carboniferous produced a dragonfly-like creature called Meganeura with a wingspan of up to 70 centimeters, bigger than many modern hawks. It also produced Arthropleura, a millipede-like creature up to 2.5 meters long, the largest land invertebrate in Earth's history. Scorpions reached 70 centimeters, Giant cockroaches crawled through vast, wet, swampy forests. The forests themselves were alien. Giant tree-like plants called lycopsids towered 30 meters high across a warm and humid world. The high oxygen also made the entire planet dangerously flammable. Fossil charcoal from carboniferous wildfires is found in rock layers all around the world. This era ended when the climate cooled, the tropical forests collapsed, and most of the giant insects disappeared along with them. The fifth and final version is the worst thing that has ever happened to complex life on Earth. It happened 252 million years ago, and scientists call it the Great Dying. Around 90 to 96% of all marine species on Earth went extinct. On land, approximately 70 to 75% of vertebrate species disappeared. Even insects, which survived every other major extinction event with almost no losses, lost at least 8 entire orders in this one. The cause was massive volcanic eruptions called the Siberian Traps, which pumped CO2 and toxic gases into the atmosphere for up to 2 million years. Global temperatures rose 8 to 10 degrees Celsius, making the tropics lethal to most life. Ocean surface temperatures in the tropics may have reached 40 degrees Celsius, hot enough to kill most sea creatures outright. The oceans also lost their oxygen and turned acidic, slowly dissolving the shells and skeletons of marine animals across the globe. Recovery from the Great Dying took 5 to 10 million years. And if any of these 5 surprised you, the next video goes even deeper into Earth's strangest chapters.